100 additional screeners are going to hit the front lines over the next couple of months, starting next month. Those are sort of short-term fixes. The longer-term fixes are obviously going to have to be with airlines, with airports, about airports doing more of the perimeter stuff, so TSA agents aren't in the baggage claim area or the ticket counter area, that local police officers, local police departments are doing more of that. There is discussion now with airports and airlines about limiting the number of carry-on bags. Why are people carrying on more bags? Because it costs $100 to check.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can airlines maybe do something to help in that regard? That's going to be a push I think you're going to hear from members of Congress today with some of these airline execs. The other is the TSA is now going to try and better, I guess, push this TSA pre-check. I don't know if a lot of your listeners have it. I do. I travel a lot for work. I have found that it's fairly nice. It costs money. You go through a background check.
Yeah.
But it's good for 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
And you also don't have to take off your shoes and everything, right?
You don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to take off your sports coat. You don't have to take your laptop out of your bag. You don't have to take out the liquids and gels. You go, and usually you don't go through the scanner. You go through just a regular metal detector. The caveat is you do subject yourself to a government background check.
Right.
Some people are, I guess, comfortable with that. Some people aren't. I have enough government media credentials that it seem like a big invasion for my life. And so that's going to – I will say this, though, as somebody who has the TSA pre-check, one thing that they have had to do at some of these large airports to try and make up the gap is close those pre-check lines so they can have more people working the regular security line.
Man. See, that's
crazy. And nothing is more frustrating than that.
So how much does it cost, though, for that pre-check thing? Is it like a...
There are a few things. The basic package, I think, is $85. Now, I think that they are going to look at maybe revising that price. That may be one of the things that's considered. But I think it's $85 for 4 or 5 years. I have something else. There's other programs you can enroll in, things called Global Entry, which allow you, if you travel overseas frequently, to not have to go through customs when you come back to the U.S.
Wow.
Which, if you've done that at DFW, take hours. I grew up in the DFW area, so I know it well. And so there are different programs, and I think you're probably going to hear a lot more about those in the coming weeks.
So I think that people would be a little bit more accepting of the times and how much time they are waiting if the TSA could really go up and show, how many things we've caught, how many guns we've confiscated and everything. And where they're, making a dent, some things aren't making it onto the plane, their performance could also come into question.
That's the flip side of this, is there has been an increase in funding for stuff like that. And you'll remember there was a big story that broke earlier this year that the Inspector General of the Department of Homeland Security did all of these covert tests, and like 90% of the prohibited items made it through.
Yep.
And so you're right. That is sort of ancillary, I think, to the main issue, is do we really want to be shortcutting anything? TSA says they won't, and that's one of the messages that they're saying to passengers is you may have a long security line because we can't shortchange the process. Particularly given these Inspector General reports from earlier this year that over the last couple of years there have been drastic failures on the part of TSA that this new administrator says he is addressing and have largely been fixed. You're going to see more canine units, for instance, at TSA checkpoints, the bomb-sniffing dogs that are able to sort of give you a cursory pass as you wait in line. That's expected to ramp up as well. So there are a lot of things that TSA is doing. It takes money, and that's why they're in front of Congress.
Wow.
Well, as a dad who has had to take sleeping babies out of strollers on more than one occasion, we should be catching the guns. I mean, really, because at some point you want to sit back and say, it's a breast pump.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's all right. We're good. Take everything. But anyway, well, Jared Halpern, thanks for your coverage of this. We'll continue to follow this, obviously, at our airport here. There are frequently long lines when there are a lot of flights at the same time, just because of the number of, there's just the one lane, there's just the one lane to go through. So it remains to be seen.
Though.
But look, when I tell you, a lot of people, when we got back from Europe, when we went back a few months ago, and I had to go through customs here. Now, this is after going through customs, in the UK, customs in France, customs in Canada on the way flying home. I was so frustrated because I was like, the worst experience was at Washington Dulles Airport. I didn't feel like a criminal any of those other places, but you get back here and this should be home. It should be a welcome home because, sometimes when you get off the cruise, they're like, welcome home.
Right.
It's a whatever.
Although, I'll tell you, the last cruise that I went on a couple of years ago, when we got back, it was a much longer wait at customs.
Really?
It was the longest wait off of a cruise line that I had ever experienced. I don't know what was happening.
Yeah.
But it took forever.
Crazy. All right, well, we'll keep track on this because it's a crazy thing. Coming up, we're going to tell you about the KPEL, win KPEL cash. Maybe I'll even give away the times today that you're going to have to call.
Ooh.
All right? 822, listen to this.
Let us give you some KPEL cash with $1,000. Think of the things you can do. Mortgage? Paid. Car payment? Done. What about an early summer getaway? Covered.
Remember that radio contest I entered?
Yes.
Well, I won!
Listen